quiet gays. Where are the quiet gays supposed to go?
Okay, I hit record for the 80th time. Okay, we're recording. Okay, let's just... Oh, I like your background.
Thanks. I'm in the jellyfish.
I love it. I love jellyfish. I literally am obsessed with jellyfish. Okay, let's do this because I don't want my Wi-Fi to cut out or anything. Oh no.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to Lesbian Book Club. We are back on our rewatch of The L Word, and we finally met Sherry Jaffe, and we'll get to it. But season 1, episode 10, this was a big episode. This is a big plot turning point for a lot of characters. I'm super excited to get into it. Haylie, what did you think of all of this?
It got messy here. Also, I had some shock in this episode because while you've been hyping me up for Sherry Jaffe, I did not recognize her at all. You know who I do know in this episode, who I've worked with multiple times, is Snoop Dogg.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot.
I did not know that Snoop is in The L Word.
Yep, he is, and he's not Snoop. What is he's what, Slim Daddy in this? Like, he has like a different name.
Slim Daddy was so cringy. Yeah.
Slim Daddy and Kit Porter do a song together, and that mix-up where he thinks that Kit is the lesbian, and so he puts like all these like women dancers in the video was so funny.
Uh-huh.
That was a good comedic relief to a lot of like heavier storylines. Wait, so you don't know who that actress is?
No.
It's the iconic Rosanna Arquette. It's Rosanna Arquette. Oh my God, I'm so old. Okay, whatever. I love her. Okay, well, I guess this is what you get when you watch with a 25-year-old who doesn't know who Rosanna Arquette is.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put a poll in our Insta stories and be like, who knew who Rosanna Arquette was?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a letdown when I was expecting like Jennifer Aniston or something to pop on the screen. I was like, who is this woman?
Damn it. Okay, well, at the time...
Sorry, Rosanna Arquette.
Rosanna.
Rosanna. Ah, crap. Sorry, Rosanna.
Okay, let's hop into storylines. Who do you want to start with?
Well, as always, I'm always perturbed by Jenny, obviously.
Of course.
And she was wrapped up in the whole Francesca Martina thing. Or sorry, Marina thing. This episode.
Jenny gets invited over for dinner, which is so weird.
I don't know. I don't know. It was some kind of weird psychological game. It had to have been because what the heck?
But was it like Marina did not seem into this little game?
Oh, absolutely not. I think she was as thrown off as Jenny. And honestly, I don't know. It kind of felt like, I don't know. Okay, there's two ways that I think Francesca could have been playing this. There was one where she truly didn't care about this, and to her it really is just like they really are just playing around and doing whatever when they're apart, and she just wanted to know like, oh, who was Marina hanging out with when I was gone? And it's innocent and lighthearted and whatever. Or and to her, she's not understanding all of the heaviness that comes along with the relationship that those two have.
Right.
Or there's, another way that she could be thinking of this, which is a little worse, which I'm a little bit inclined to think is what happened. And that is that she is jealous and she feels like she wants to go and play around and have fun, but she doesn't like it as much when Marina does it. And she comes home, she sees that maybe there was a stronger connection than she thought Marina could develop with somebody other than herself. And she doesn't quite like that. So she has a little power play, puts them in a position where she is the one who kind of has a hand over them, and they're a little bit uncomfortable, and it just all goes south really, really quickly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like a power move situation. She was like trying to like exert her like dominance over the two of them, being like like kind of like claiming Marina, like she's mine and you guys can have your little thing, but like I have control over everything in this relationship, which is like really gross.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Marina had no idea that this invitation went out until afterwards, and Jenny already had an interaction with Francesca without knowing who she was.
Uh-huh.
And for a long time had no idea she even existed. And so the whole thing is just,
Messy.
makes my skin crawl a little bit. But I mean, you want to talk about what happens at the dinner, like
Yeah.
with the kiss and everything?
Yeah, that was fucking bold because I felt like Marina was like, I don't know, like, does Marina want to be with Jenny or like, what is the deal here? Because Marina kisses Jenny when Francesca like leaves the room. It wasn't like initiated, I don't think, by Jenny.
You know, I think that I think she's confused, she's entangled, she feels bad, she's a little bit heartbroken. I feel like
Yeah.
Francesca's been gone a long time at this point, and she had a whole storyline with Jenny. It had, it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden Francesca's back and she's expected to pretend like it was nothing. And that just isn't how people work.
No, it's not.
So there was no closure there. And I think that this was her acting on the feelings that she was left with when it was just abruptly cut when Francesca returned.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. And then like Francesca like walks in on them and is like, what the hell is this? I think you were right when you said that she underestimated the connection that Marina was able to develop for somebody else other than her. And I think it really caught her off guard. And she turned into like a vicious, like viper almost.
Yeah, it was scary. I mean, and I don't blame her
No.
either for that, honestly, because I understand. I understand that if you have this agreement in your relationship that this is how things are going to work, and you think, I mean, in order to protect yourself, you have to think that there's no way that they can have the same connection with somebody else
Right.
as they can have with you. And so to be confronted face to face with the fact that that's just not the truth would be really hard. And I mean, of course, it would elicit that kind of reaction in the moment.
Yeah. And you know what? I have to give props to Jenny. Like, Jenny, like, left. And she could have, like, tried to be, like, proud and, like, stay and be like, I'm not going to let them get the upper hand. I'm going to stay or whatever. Like, as a stubborn person, that'd probably be my go-to. But she, like, took her wine back because Francesca made, like, a shitty comment about how the wine kind of sucks. So she's like, fine, you know what? I'm going to take my wine. I'm going to leave. And she walks out. But then she chucks the wine bottle at their like glass window, which I was like, that's kind of a power move, a little bit of a power move there. And she goes home, and then this shit gets so weird. Don't you think this was weird?
Oh my God. I knew from the second I was like, this is a classic Jenny problem all
Oh my
over
God.
again.
Because I don't think Jenny feels love apart from sex. Like, I think she's like really, I don't want to say damaged because I don't think people are damaged, but she's definitely has like a lot of wounds and like trauma. And I think the way she feels comfort and love is through sex.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is when she feels any kind of rejection,
Yeah.
that's really distressing for her. And her reaction to that is to desperately try and get approval. And how she thinks she's going to get that is through sex and not
Exactly.
through her personality, which, I mean, is what it is. And we've seen this so many times already, and here she goes and does it again. And Tim, unfortunately, was stupid here, and he kind of initiated this
Right.
in a moment of weakness. And at first, I was like, okay, maybe they've both grown after having some time apart, and they're able to see each other as like somebody that they just each care about, and
Right.
that, this is someone that they literally married each other. They really care about each other, and they can see that each other have been in pain, and they're able to be comfort for each other in a moment, like when he puts his arm around her on the couch. But
Right.
no, of course, moments later they're having sex, and it within the time it takes for them to have sex, Tim regrets it, and Jenny thinks that they're in love. And it just, oh God, it was so painful in the morning to see like the dissonance between them as Tim is questioning all of his life choices, and Jenny thinks that everything is right in the world again, and that she can just go back to her old life, and that Tim has taken her back, and all is forgiven because they had sex.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jenny girl, that's not how easy things are.
Yeah, it was just a mess all around. The entire Jenny storyline this episode was a mess, and I feel like she's really gonna, I mean, I've seen it, but I don't remember like where she goes from here, but I feel like she's really gonna spiral, and it's just not gonna be good moving forward because now she's lost Marina, now she's lost Tim. Like, what is she gonna do?
This is where you really find out what a person is made of, because when people are left lonely and feeling rejected and in a hard spot, they have a choice to go up or down. And so that's what we're gonna have to see, is we're gonna see if Jenny completely self-destructs or if she picks herself up and figures out how to make real friends with real human connection and care about people other than herself in like a real way.
Right.
And that's gonna be a big learning curve for her, because so far it's been the Jenny show, and she's gonna figure that out if she wants to be somebody that keeps people in her life.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of confidence in Jenny to navigate those turbulent waters going forward with everything we've seen from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put my hope in her.
Oh, I hope you don't regret that.
Luckily, she's fictional, so
true. Very
I don't
true.
think that I'll have too big of a letdown if I'm wrong. But
Oh my God. Okay, can we talk about, let's get through Alice and Alice's little storyline kind of quickly, because it's just silly this episode, I feel like. She is like so fed up with Lisa, her lesbian male lover. Like, because he's like too girly. He's like, they're like had sex or something, and she's going to the bathroom. He's like, "Where are you going? Okay, come back." And she's just like, "Ugh." And she ends up saying, "What, like, if I want to be with a man, like, what does she say?"
You're like more lesbian than any lesbian I've ever been with, something like that. But also, and I quote what he says when she gets out of bed is, "Hurry back, love." And I think some like puke came up my throat because I was like, nobody says, where people say that is in badly written romance novels.
Exactly. Like, oh my God, she's going to the bathroom. Like, have a minute, check your phone. Like, stop.
They didn't have cell phone. What? Check your Tamagotchi.
Yeah. Make sure it's not dying of thirst.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are, and then she meets this guy, Alice meets this guy and is like taken back to his takes him back to her apartment and is like gonna sleep with him, and then like Lisa like comes over and like walks in and the guy's like, this Alice is like, "This is my lesbian lover," and the guy's like, "This is just too much for me, I'm gonna go." So it was just silly. Alice, I feel like, gets some silly storylines in the beginning for sure.
Yeah. Also, what's insane about this is that was Dana's date, and Alice poached him straight off the date. Like, went along to watch Dana reject him, and then slid in seconds after,
Yep.
and was like, "So."
So
Just wow, Lisa is sitting at the other table
I know it's
and
so bad.
watching.
It's really rude.
Like, Alice hates Lisa.
I know. I
Yeah,
don't know why
why
she
is
doesn't
she
just
dating him? She
leave.
literally hates him.
I know. I don't get it. Whatever.
I don't know.
Alice has a lot of
And
growth.
she's gotta. I mean, also, as much as Lisa is so obnoxious and cringy, I feel for him because that would be so sad.
I
And
know.
she's like, "Well, we aren't dating. Like, I have no obligation to you." But like, yeah, you kind of are dating, even if you haven't explicitly said. Look at what's going on. You
Right.
at least owe this guy some kind of conversation.
Exactly.
And not to act like that in front of him. Like, that's just cruel.
That's so mean. And he like clearly is like infatuated with you. So yeah, I don't like it. I forgot how much of a brat Alice is in this first season. Because she does become like a fan favorite. She is like really great. Like she's in Generation Q. She's one of the like main characters. Yeah, she has a lot of character development, I think.
Yeah, she better. Yeah. Also, okay, I'm stopping there. I'm gonna stop on the Alice hate club.
Okay, let's talk about Shane then, because that was a very small part of this episode was Alice and Dana's little thing. But Shane, I love this relationship because it's like this older woman that Shane goes to do her hair for some like benefit or whatever, right? And like she like leads her into the closet and it's just like, "I basically want to fuck you right here." And Shane's just like down. Shane's like, "Okay."
That was so wild. And she also at the end is faced with this impossible situation of accepting money from her husband,
right?
Where it's like, did I just become a prostitute?
Right, which
because
like
he has
Shane...
no idea what just happened.
No, they played it off pretty well, I have to say. And that guy, although that guy is kind of oblivious, but like Shane has
Are you
like...
still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You disappeared for a minute.
Okay, I'm back. I was gonna say, like, yeah, Shane like has turned tricks before, so she probably feels like kind of icky with the guy offering her money, but it was like for her hair. But also that guy was really disgusting. He was like, "Do you know how many men want to fuck their wives? None of us. And I'm like, ew.
Yeah. Definitely weird to bring up with a stranger. That's the kind of thing that like people will actually say to you in real life, and
Right?
you have a choice between
Uh-huh.
yeah, like a nervous laughter, or that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met, sir. Like,
Yeah. And the thing that I love about this is becomes like a recurring character, Sherry Jaffe. And I think it's the first time we see Shane. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you, actually. Never mind, I'm not gonna say anything. Uh shoot. What do you think? So knowing that Rosanna Arquette is going to become a recurring character, what do you think the storyline's going to be? We didn't see a lot of it, but like Rosanna Arquette is clearly very into Shane. Shane seems very into fucking Rosanna Arquette, at least. Where do you think this storyline's going to go?
well, I bet that Sherry Jaffe gives Shane some kind of upwards mobility,
Okay.
considering who she is,
Yep.
and gives her some connections. And I wonder if maybe she gets Shane out of like working underneath the boss that hates her, where she kind of gets her own like salon, or maybe starts working on movie sets or something. And I bet they continue some sort of relationship, but I don't know how that goes because the husband is in the picture. Yeah, I feel like there's possibilities here. Also, I wonder if this is something that Sherry Jaffe thinks is like exclusive to them, or if she's going to be like, oh, friend Glinda, I have this awesome hairdresser that will also fuck you in your closet for $600. Will you call her up? And then Shane will be like, oh, here's a referral to go cut hair. And she'll show up, and then this other woman is expecting her to fuck her in her closet, and she'll be like, oh my God, I'm a haircutting prostitute. How did this happen?
Okay. I'm excited for you to see where this goes. Okay, but now since we actually are powering through this, and I'm glad because I have 28% on my computer somehow. I don't know what's happening with my internet. Everything's draining on my battery. I don't know what's going on. But we need to talk about Bette and Tina.
Weird.
I know. But we have to talk about Bette and Tina. It's a like life-altering storyline this episode. Do you want to like tell us?
Okay, guys, sorry for the weird cutoff. We had some major technical difficulties there, and Lauren was not able to get back on, so you're stuck with me. Wah, wah, wah. Sorry. But we're going to get into Bette and Tina, and wow, I am sad that I don't have Lauren to talk to about this. I do have a lot to say about Bette and Tina this episode, and they had a really sad story this time, so let's just get into them. At the beginning, we start right off with they're not jiving well because Tina bought a birthing tank and didn't tell Bette. And I can see it from both sides here. I mean, Tina obviously gets to have birth however she feels like she wants to, but like that's also a conversation for both people to have. Like that's a conversation. It's not just a one-decided or a one-party decision without informing the other person, I think. Like you at least let the other person know. And so Bette obviously felt left out and like she wasn't even a part of this. So that just felt sad to me. Like she already doesn't feel like she's super a part of it because she isn't biologically involved in this, and it's anything that Tina can do to like help her feel involved. And Tina just isn't doing a great job of that. But then Tina also makes this comment to Bette where she says that, you know, like, you always used to do such a great job of making me feel so loved and so important, and you just don't anymore. And that was kind of a big wake-up call for Bette, I think. And I don't know, there's some really big conflicts happening in their relationship, and at this point in the episode, it feels like the only thing that's maybe holding them together is this baby. Like, that is the one thing that they have in common. And I mean, we know now that we've watched it later on that there's about to not be a baby. So I don't know what's going to happen to them. They have to find common ground again and remember why they're together outside of having a baby. Otherwise, they are not going to survive as a couple. But anyway, we also, before we get to the miscarriage, there's a whole thing happening at Bette's work, which is, I mean, we start off with this opening scene that looks like it's a porno of like Jesus fucking a woman doggy style, and it's like a living portrait being filmed maybe, but it turns out that's actually part of this art series that Bette has brought into the CAC. And the Coalition for Concerned Citizens vandalizes the CAC because they're really, really upset about this art collection. So they have put that LA is the capital of filth and degradation all over the CAC. And obviously Bette is upset about this. And she gets confronted by this woman outside, or more like she confronts the woman, and that ends up being Faye Buckley. And we don't know who Faye Buckley is to her, but it seems like she knows her, and I'm really curious to find out what that relationship is, because there clearly is some sort of past there. But anyway, Faye Buckley confronts Bette and says that she's making the world a worse place for her child because of this art, and that she's the one who sent Bette these flowers. And so Bette had received flowers earlier in the episode, and they were anonymous. She wasn't sure who they were from. She thought maybe they were from Tina, and then Tina was like, no, those aren't for me. So it was just like this big mystery. And anyway, so that really hit her hard too, saying that she's making this place a worse place for her child. And that's like a pretty horrible thing to say to somebody over art, especially. Anyway, so Tina has this miscarriage, and while they're crying in the bathroom together, these protesters come to their home and put signs in their front yard and videotape Bette and tell her that she's going to hell. Like, they don't have any idea what's going on inside the house, but there is no compassion there. And this reminded me a lot of some things going on, like, in just life in general. Like, in that so many people don't think about what is actually happening in people's lives and think about people as people outside of their views, and they just rip people apart, and that can be so harmful on just like a deep level, because you look at what Tina and Bette are going through inside the house, and these people don't agree with the art that Bette has let be put on display at the CAC. Fine. They don't agree with it. But to come to her house and say these horrible things and show such a lack of compassion and just be downright cruel in that way, like, what are they gaining from that? There is absolutely nothing to gain from that other than they're ripping down these people who are already going through it. It's just breaks my heart. But to end on a little bit of a lighter note, let's go back to Dana, because I don't think that we really covered Dana that much. And one thing that I loved about Dana in this episode is her cat, Mr. Piddles. And I love a good animal name that starts with Mr. I think it's so fun. I call my dog Mr. Runner. So Mr. Piddles, you're my new fave fictional cat, okay? So Dana is giving Mr. Piddles the breakup talk and is coming out to him. And Lauren, you're not here, but you're right. Dana is me. Because 1,000%, I am giving my pets all of my, I'm gushing, I'm spilling my guts to them. That was absolutely me. So she's doing all this, and then her mom sets her up on this date with this guy, and then we're back to where Alice takes over her date. But on this date, Dana just gets like so riled up, but for good reason, because his first line to her is, "You have a beautiful body. Like, gag me now." So then Dana tells him that she's gay, and Alice then slides in to hit on him. But let's just hold on for a second here. If your first line to somebody on a date is telling them they have a beautiful body, screech, put the brakes on, go back to dating school. Like, hold on. Dana, wildly uncomfortable for good reason. Anyway, you guys, I know we've been through a lot this episode, between the storyline, between our technical difficulties, between you having Lauren and then you not having Lauren. But thanks for sticking with us if you made it this far. We're gonna really try and turn it around next episode, okay? We love you. Thank you for listening to the Lesbian Book Club podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.